If you were to Houdini this like walk all the way out but make a curb, so it started like right here and went all the way out, and this ran with an arm on the other side of the railing, and on the right side anyone just saw you just scaling the bridge. It'd be a sidewalk, right? And having to dim your phone to like a battery under 100%. If you have to dim it to the screen being like 50% or 20 to save a battery from dying from 100%, that's a suffice in meeting halfway. 90s, the first one, those cyborgs. If you had like the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, which Dorothy should be with one of the Disney princesses, isn't Angelina Jolie? She was in Beowulf as like one thing, but she was also in, and this is like CGI, um, the other one from Beowulf. Combat Cyborg's costumes, it's like the red one. In Futurama, if he was uh, like meat just jumping out of a layer, whether it's Goro's or Shang Tsung's, and running because he got free from the flesh pits. And that's part of what all the anguish in the nether realm is people getting enslaved and thrown into the flesh pits. So meat is so iconic for that intro. If that was, and United States, we scoff at royalty, so seeing what like is a princess and isn't with all the princesses in Disney is like some hard lore. And if you're explaining this to someone and they weren't a princess, like one of the nemesis and the cyborgs, if you just scale like the ones from Mortal Kombat, the later Sector and Cyrex, to like the Futurama, if he was the size of like a smaller version of him dug out, and this is where it gets to the baby Godzilla, where he has like a skin outfit equivalent to like, and this is with any intro going to a hospital. You're the character Meat in Mortal Kombat, and you're just running to the intro. Or a can of like seltzer is less if it's cracked, or like a big bottle if it's glass is less if it's cracked. If you're trying to barter, and with bartering, Jesus, he brought a bullwhip and he flipped tables onto merchants on the Ave. And this is in New York. They had places down. This is what when a show or a movie has like this element to it where it has these characters. This is why star roles of people can't get into different movies if they're 2-star iconic, because it doesn't make sense. Like Keanu Reeves, he can pull it off because his character is so nonchalant compared to his actual self. So he can be inside of like the first movie, Bill and Ted, where he goes inside of like a booth. A booth is equal to a cyborg body if you're in it and you are unconscious or can't tell the difference between life. And so when there's like cyborgs in the show Futurama, and in that episode it just was with like a red cyborg, it's like Cyrax, and he would be like Tin Man. If you change like Mortal Kombat, like the video game in the 90s, the first one, those cyborgs, if you had like the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, which Dorothy should be with one of the Disney princesses, isn't she? If that was, and United States, we scoff at royalty, so seeing what like is a princess and isn't with all the princesses in Disney is like some hard lore. And if you're explaining this to someone and they weren't a princess, like one of the nemesis, Angelina Jolie, she was in Beowulf as like one thing, but she was also in, and this is like CGI, um, the other one from Beowulf. Not Tin Man, but if you take Tin Man and sculpt him down to the Mortal Kombat Cyborg's costumes, it's like the red one. In Futurama, if he was one of the cyborgs, if you just scale like the ones from Mortal Kombat, the later Sector and Cyrex, to like the Futurama, if he was the size of like a smaller version of him dug out, and this is where it gets to the baby Godzilla, where he has like a skin outfit equivalent to like, And this is with any intro going to a hospital. You're the character Meat in Mortal Kombat, and you're just running to the entrance, like Meat just jumping out of a layer, whether it's Goro's or Shang Tsung's, and running because he got free from the flesh pits. And that's part of what all the he was going to be on TV and he's going to shut it down. And that was the course with T-Pain, but I can't show any more of that broadcast because I could get copywritten. And in that main frame is you can get a quote and estimate on anything, and with whatever that means. I met a person who had their entire bone marrow transplanted, so they said that they had all of one area that was chemo in, and that's why she's here today. And it got all of the blood that was inside her entire body switched out. I was like, that's equivalent if you'd fall into a hay bale and it's all not hay, it's just needles. That's what they did with the person in the movie Saw. And if you got hepatitis that way, because it wasn't transmitted any different, she's like, things are different, transmitted, and my close relative just had a problem with cancer. I like, so did mine. They're like, we're done with this conversation. And then we talked for like 10 more minutes, and then I made her mad about that again, because it's like, that's what happened in the movie Saw. Show this is Disney's movie. Even though I buy their merchandise, if I use their content, I can get copyright on the internet, so I put that. And I can't edit videos unless I download an app, and I hate apps. It's a software, so I do just one clips at a time. It's just like my third video of the day, sorry. It can only be like a short clip. We're gonna conclude this in a minute, but this cartoon, I purchased it and I can't use it at the same time.